Hey, this is Jill from Simple Daily Recipes. I'm getting ready to cook up a batch of pinto beans in my pressure cooker, and I thought you might want to watch. I know there's some folks out there that are not familiar with the pressure cooker, and I just want to show you how easy it is so you don't have to be afraid. I think every other person has a pressure cooker in their cabinet that their mother-in-law or their mother passed down to them, and they've just been too afraid to use it because it is a little unnerving if you don't have the instruction manual. And so I'm going to show you how to quickly just cook up a batch of beans in 50 minutes. Now, it's not a 50-minute video, but that's how long it takes to cook up a batch of pinto beans. Let's get started and show you how easy this is. Real quick, I want to show you the parts of the pressure cooker, okay? We have the pan, okay, that's a given, and we have the lid. Now, there's just a couple of things you need to know about the lid. There's a seal that fits inside the lid, and we need to make sure that seal is fitting snugly inside the lid. On the other side, we have an overpressure regulator. When the steam and pressure starts to build up inside the pot, this will pop up, which is good. This is a vent pipe, and the steam comes through here. And this is called an air vent, and if you can see this, see if I can get that right. See how you can see this and then you can't see it? Okay, this is the air vent, and steam comes up through here too, a little bit in the beginning. And when you see this little silver gauge pop up, you know that the pot is full of pressure, and you do not want to try to open up the lid when this is in the up position. The last thing is this is the pressure regulator. This is the weight that sits on top of the lid, and this does all the chattering, that typical chatter that we hear out of a pressure cooker. And when this is it's very important to know that when your pot is full of steam, this will be up. This air vent will be in the up position where you can see that silver rod there. And when that happens, when those two are up, never try to lift this regulator, okay? Because everything in the pot will try to come through the lid. It's gross, it's messy, and you could burn yourself, okay? So just remember, up position, leave this down. Now, when we're cooling the pot, at the end, I'll show you when we're cooling the pot, this air vent will drop down, and when that drops down, I know I can take the pressure regulator off. There's no more pressure in the pot, and I can remove the lid, okay? All right, so let's start cooking. I have 3 cups of pinto beans here that I've already washed off. I don't have to pre-soak the beans. Every bean recipe in the world wants you to soak the beans for 10 minutes or soak the beans overnight, but you don't have to soak beans when you cook them in the pressure cooker. And no, you're not going to have any more gas. If your family's gassy like mine, it doesn't matter. So we're going to put them in straight away, just like this. Okay, and to that, I'm going to go ahead and add my spices, which, everybody has their own taste in what they like in their beans and how they like their beans done. So I'm just going to do what I like to do and what my family enjoys, which I like to put in 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And you can use fresh onions. I do that too, but my daughter doesn't like to see onions in her beans, so I have to use onion powder right now. I'm going to use a teaspoon of cumin, 2 teaspoons of my favorite New Mexico chili powder, about 1/2 teaspoon of fresh ground pepper, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Well, maybe an extra half. Maybe 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I like to use about a tablespoon of liquid smoke, which I know what a tablespoon is. Okay. And then a little oil. I don't know why I like to add oil, I just do. And I usually add about a tablespoon. I really like to put baking drippings in my beans because it kind of helps thicken up the sauce and it tastes good and you got that bacon flavor in there. But I don't have any right now, so that's why I'm just using the oil. Okay, and the last thing I want to do is I just need to cover the beans with 2 inches of water. Now, no matter how, see, I'm using 3 cups, but if you use 2 cups of beans, you're still going to want to cover them with 2 inches of water, okay? And so whatever that measurement is of beans that you're putting in, just cover it with 2 inches of water. That's pretty simple. And make sure when you're using your pressure cooker, I use a Presto 6-quart, and I have a 2/3 mark inside my pot, and I don't want my liquid or the food in the pot to go above that 2/3 mark. And the reason for that is you need that extra third in the pot to create the pressure to cook the beans, okay? So we never want to go above the 2/3 mark. That's it. Now I just need to set my lid. I have a little triangle here on my lid, and there's a triangle on my handle, and I'm going to match those up and lock my lid, put on my pressure regulator, and I'm going to set this on medium-high heat. Now all I need to do is wait for the water to get hot and the pressure to build up, and when that starts to happen, the pressure regulator, the overpressure plug will pop up, my air vent will come into place, it will pop up, and then within a minute the pressure regulator, this weight here on the top, will start to rock. And because I have it on medium high, it's going to rock really fast, and I'll show you what that sounds like. I don't want my pressure regulator to rock fast during the cooking process because it lets too much steam out, and we don't want to do that. If we lose all of our liquid in our pot, our food will burn. So we don't want that to happen. Anyways, we're just going to wait. Now while we're waiting for the pressure regulator to come to a gentle rocking motion, I just wanted to share with you that it is important to start the pressure cooker at a medium-high heat, because if you just start on medium or medium-low, it will take forever to build up pressure in the pot and get that pressure regulator chattering. So do yourself a favor, start on medium-high, get that pot hot and full of steam, and don't walk away. It doesn't take very long for it to get hot, maybe about 5 minutes. So stay in the kitchen, chop something or whatever, make a batch of cornbread, and as soon as you hear the chatter, then you'll know it's time to turn the heat down. Okay, you hear the chatter now? It's slowed down considerably. I've been waiting about 5 minutes. And you can hear the steam. It's just a gentle rocking motion. And this is the gentle rocking motion you want every time you cook something. Anytime you cook something in the pressure cooker. It's the same gentle rocking motion every time. When you hear this, then you can set the timer and begin your cooking. Okay, my beans are ready, and it's time to cool down the pressure cooker. There's 2 ways to cool down the pressure cooker. One is to simply remove the pressure cooker off the heat and let it cool down on its own. Allow the air vent to drop down, and when the air vent has dropped, then, it's also called the cover lock, when that has dropped, we know that there's no more pressure in the pot, and we can safely remove the pressure regulator and remove the lid. The other way is to simply run cool water over the pan. Now watch how quick this is. I'm waiting for the air vent cover lock to drop down. That's when I know that I can take the lid off. Did you hear all that? Okay. Now I can safely remove the lid. Now I can safely remove my I just went blank on what this is called. Pressure regulator. nice and hot. And the beans are cooked. Let me show you. Can you see that okay? Can you see that all right? They're cooked. They are cooked tender. Perfect. You know when your beans are cooked, you can blow on them and the skin of the bean will roll back on itself. That's when you know you've got tender beans. Alright, that's all there's to it. You saw it. Piece of cake. And they were cooked in 50 minutes. Not overnight, not for 4 hours on the stove, for 50 minutes in the pressure cooker, and we're ready to eat. Now from here, I'm going to let these cool down. I'm going to take half the beans that I've cooked, and I'm going to put them up in the freezer, and the other half I'm going to use for supper tonight. So, there you go. Pinto beans cooked in a pressure cooker. See, you don't have to be afraid. Go ahead and try it. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Y'all have fun, and eat healthy. Bye.